Hey, good morning. A little earth, wind, and fire to get us grooving on a brand new week. How's it going, everybody? Did you have an awesome weekend? Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm going to say that my mother last month turned 70, and so yesterday we had kind of a smallish party at my house, and it was my grandmother, who's 92, and my mother and her boyfriend, and then my brother and his wife and his children, and then our family, and everyone from the 92-year-old down to the youngest in the room, who was 17, was fully vaccinated. And so for the first time in 15 and a half months, my family actually gathered at my house, and we could actually see each other's faces. We weren't masked. The one bummer is that my brother did have poison ivy from working in the woods on Red Day. So we did keep our distance still from him, but it was for no other reason than the fact that we didn't want the poison ivy. So maybe the next time we all gather, we'll actually all be able to actually hug one another and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, if you haven't had one of those yet, it actually feels kind of good. It felt like a little bit naughty, like, oh, look, no masks. Woo, look at us go. All right. So I hope you had an equally enjoyable weekend. I want to start this morning with just a quickie. I think it was last week, I played you a video that had some beautifully Neanderthal thinking about the difference between men and women. If you remember, it was the big boy appliance one that were built for the big manly men. Well, this is a similar one that has the same Neanderthal thinking, but about something a little bit different. Take a look. My favorite is blushing a gun. That's just blushing a gun. All righty. So let us move forward this morning. Where is my good friend, Bill McNamara?
Right here, Rick.
Hello, Bill. How are you this morning?
Rick, how are you? I'm
Spectacular.
fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm Bill McNamara with Westport Mortgage, where we help realtors sell and buyers buy. And today I wanted to talk about the three most important words in real estate: location, location, location. However, I think they may have been replaced by listings in this market. I'm sure you all would rather have that than location at this point. What's happened to me a couple times lately is talking to people about pre-qualification, and everything has been centered in Fairfield County. And then all of a sudden they go elsewhere and they put in a bid. And so we have to review it, because Fairfield County has a couple of different advantages to the rest of the state. And so I wanted to make sure you're aware of those, and so that you can check with your mortgage partner, hopefully me, to see if that's still going to work for you. So the biggest thing is FHA, which we live in a high balance area. What that means is that we can do an FHA loan on a single family house up to $601,000. So that's very nice. You might be very surprised that the highest other number in all of Connecticut is $364,000 for a loan. And in fact, Litchfield and Fairfield and New Haven rather are both at $356,000. So I had somebody recently who wanted to put 15% down on their FHA loan, and they moved over the line into New Haven County, and I had to have them come up with some extra money to still fit within that number. Okay, so it might catch people by surprise. The purpose of this is to avoid the surprise and have you guys be aware of it ahead of time. So anytime people are changing, even town to town, taxes can be very different. If somebody's pre-qualified for $400,000 in Shelton, they happen to have very low taxes in Shelton. So if you jump over to someplace else like Trumbull or Monroe, you might have to have another conversation with me about whether or not the same purchase price numbers work. Okay. And then the last advantage for Fairfield County is we do have some special Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac programs that have income limitations. And in Fairfield County, they're $95,600, and in New Haven and Litchfield, they're either $10,000 or $20,000 lower. So again, important to just know exactly where we stand on that. So that's my message for today. Location, 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 and we've been your mortgage partner since 2007. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bill. And just by the way, Bill, for your next birthday, I'm thinking about that blush and a gun. So let me know if that's something that might be for you to make sure
less than a month away, Rick.
All righty. So thank you so much, Bill. Always great information as always. Thanks for kicking off our week. Couple of quick announcements before we move on. First and foremost, happy official 2021 tax day. Today is the day that your tax returns and along with your tax returns, any money that you happen to owe for 2020 is due, and everything needs to be postmarked and in the mail today if you haven't already done that. So do make sure that that gets done and out today. You don't want penalties or interest. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm more than happy to pay what I owe, and I'm not happy to pay even a penny more. So penalties and interest don't sit well with me. Now, for just a point of clarification, many of you already paid your first quarterly payment, right, last month on April the 15th. That was still due last month on April the 15th. What's due today is your actual tax return for 2020 and any tax you owe from 2020. If you're on extension for whatever reason, please remember that the money is still due today. Even if you put your return on extension, the money is due today to avoid penalties and interest. So for whatever that is worth for you, I offer that today because it's a weird kind of year once again with a different due date. Risk reduction. You may have seen the email on Friday. The makeup for risk reduction is on June the. Did I say it was the 4th? Somebody help me out there. I think I said it was the 4th. Hold on, I'm just checking. Want to give you the right date. Okay, the makeup session, sorry, is June the 8th. June the 8th from 4 to 6 p.m., which means if you've not taken risk reduction so far this year, which means one of the 2 sessions we did in April, please be certain that you are there for this makeup session. That is the last makeup session. We weren't going to do a makeup session, and yet there were enough of you who couldn't come to the 2 in April. So here's the thing, guys, I'm telling you weeks in advance, put it in your calendar. If you didn't come to the last 2, you've got to come to this one. If you all of a sudden have a client that needs to go out and see houses, get somebody else to go show them houses. If all of a sudden you have a listing appointment, get somebody else to go on the listing appointment or change the appointment. You've got to come to this class, which is why I'm telling you 3 weeks in advance. I always find it interesting when people email me and say, I was going to be there, but I had a listing appointment, as if telling me that you were on a listing appointment was some way of kind of a panacea for not managing your schedule. So let's just manage our schedules better and have the listing appointment and come to class. You can do both, just manage your schedule. So be there or be square. Look forward to seeing everybody. Steve Scott, what do we have going on tomorrow, if you would?
Yeah, hey guys, can everybody get their pen? Silva, get your pen. Everybody, get your pen in your hand. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, write it down. We have Via Williams here. Many of you saw Via on this Zoom channel. She is the Director of Growth and General Manager of the Ben Kinney Companies. Ben Kinney, one of the most sensational, phenomenal success stories this company has. He's got an incredibly successful real estate business and other businesses. And Via runs the whole show for him. She's coming to do leverage your listings and double your business with us. It is an exceptional class. Via charges money normally to take this class on the road. She is not for us. She really was impressed with you guys when she came on our Zoom, and she wants to do this for us. So let's fill this Zoom room, 11 o'clock tomorrow, please. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. What an awesome opportunity. And guys, if you weren't here for Via, she's just about as awesome as they come. So be certain to be here. You will absolutely learn more than the time that you spend. I promise. The bang for your buck will be pretty much unbeatable. One other thing I wanted to mention, this Wednesday, should I share this with you? Sure, let me pop that on there. This Wednesday, I don't know, for those of you who live and work and drink in Connecticut. Connecticut's starting a new program called Connecticut Drinks on Us. If you go to this website, I'll pop as soon as I finish my screen share, I'll pop the link in the chat. This website will tell you, based on the county, all of the restaurants that are participating in this program. And what it is a program that you show your vaccination card and you get a free drink. The state of Connecticut's buying you a drink when you show your vaccination card at participating restaurants from Wednesday through the end of the month. So that's kind of fun. So I'll pop the link to that in the chat box. If that is something that pertains to you and you are interested, go ahead and enjoy a drink on the state. Hey, why not, right? It's better than them charging you more for income taxes. And then lastly, before we get finished, I wanted to mention I did send out an email on this on Friday. If you see, these are those vaccination card holders that I was talking about, right? And I just wanted to demonstrate how that works. There's my vaccination card. It slides right in and protects it with some branding on the back, right? So I did send you out the information. Go ahead and contact Erin. She'd be happy to work with you and get those done if you so choose. And I just wanted to mention, guys, anything we ever send out as an idea or as an opportunity for you, if you don't think that sings the way you want it to sing for your business, then just don't do it. There's no requirement. A couple of people kind of thought that the whole, why are we mixing vaccinations with our business? It was just an idea, right? If you don't like the idea, then don't order the vaccine cards, right? You don't have to choose to do that, right? If you do think it's a good idea, go ahead and order them. Up to you, your business, your choice all the time. We're just always going to continue to push out ideas and information and then allow you to make a choice, right? That never comes down heavy-handedly. No one has a gun to your head saying, order vaccination card holders, right? So go ahead and use what we push out if you so choose. And if you do choose to use it, get back to us and let us know the results, because I'm always curious about what happens once you do take that idea and start blasting it out. The reason it came to you is because the person who gave me the idea had been using it at a high level and was getting appointments because of that idea, right? So bam, then we want to just make sure that we give you that idea. All right, so let us finish today with our main topic, and that is what's going on with pandemic protocols. Holy Christmas, right? So a whole lot of new stuff over the course of the last few days, and that has kind of continued to force us to look at how we're running things inside of our locations. As you know, our aim is to always stay as current as we possibly can, and then interpret what's going on at the state and CDC level about what that means for us and how that affects each of you inside of our spaces. And so this morning, I wanted to just announce to you a couple of changes that will happen starting on Wednesday. As you know, Wednesday, the 19th, in both Connecticut and New York, that is the date that both Governors Cuomo and Lamont have decided to pretty much lift and or remove almost all pandemic-related restrictions, right? And so whether you think that's a really good idea or a really bad idea, again, that you get to make that decision. However, the governors have given that directive, and so on the 19th, on Wednesday, most of those restrictions in each of your states will be lifted. Now, combine that with what the CDC came out with just a few days ago with regards to vaccinated versus unvaccinated in terms of mask wearing indoors. And so we get a whole bunch of questions. So let me start answering those questions for you. As of May 19th, here are the things that will change. In each of our spaces, all of you who have enjoyed being zapped with a temperature gun for the last 14 months or however long we've been doing that, I am sorry to say we will no longer be zapping you with a temperature gun. So all of that kind of pre-screening stuff to enter our market centers will go away. We are still asking, it will be self-registration, but we are still asking that when you enter, you do just sign in so that we can keep a running tab of who's there, just in case, right? Just in case. So the front desk folks will not be logging you in and out. There will be a sign-in sheet and a sign-out sheet. So if you can just handle that on your own from Wednesday moving forward, that would be awesome. And then we move to masking. So masking indoors. Based on what the CDC just released, we will make a change on Wednesday that says for any fully vaccinated person, when I say person, I mean all of you guys, right? For any fully vaccinated person, if you choose to let us know that you are fully vaccinated, which means you're going to bring your little vaccination card into the market center one time and show that to the person at the front desk who is going to be formulating this list. If you choose to share that information with us and are in fact fully vaccinated, which as you know happens 2 weeks after after your second shot or 2 weeks after your single dose, if you got the J&J vaccine, you no longer have to wear a mask when in public spaces inside of our market centers. To move us closer and closer to pre-pandemic normalcy, right? We are removing that requirement as of this Wednesday for any of those people who are fully vaccinated. Now, if you have chosen not to be vaccinated, or you are fully vaccinated and you choose not to share that information with the market center, again, that is completely and entirely up to you. This is nobody's strong arming or giving opinions one way or the other. However, in order to take advantage of no mask wearing indoors in our market centers, you will have to do you will have to go ahead and prove that you are fully vaccinated. If you choose not to, or you or are not fully vaccinated yet, whether that's your choice to remain unvaccinated, or you just haven't done it yet, you will then need to continue to stay masked when in public spaces inside of the market center. Just like the last 12 to 14 months, the private offices, once you're in your private office, you can take your mask off, but in public spaces, you'll still stay masked. From a from a travel perspective, most of that is staying about the same. Hold on one second. All righty. So for travel related information, the way the market center will view travel is if you are traveling domestically, you can just travel domestically. Like the Travelocity gnome, you are free to roam about the country, right? However, if you choose to travel internationally, I'm not sure where you're going at this point. If you could let me know where you're going, I would appreciate it, because I'd like to go as well. But if you're choosing to travel internationally and then return, just like the United States has asked you to provide a negative test before you re-enter the country, the market center will ask you to provide a negative test before you come back into the market center if you choose to travel internationally, right? Domestic travel, we are waiving that as a requirement for the time being, based on CDC travel rules for domestic travel. Now, remember that for those of you who show up and work inside of buildings that have more than just us in them, right? Specifically, those of you who show up to 2777 Summer Street or 276 Post Road in Westport, those two buildings ultimately have building protocols, not just our space, right? For those of you in Newtown, Danbury, and Richfield, we pretty much get to make the rules the way we want to make the rules. In Stamford and in Westport, you guys have to follow also whatever protocols the building still has in place. So we're finding out what those are and if they're going to change. But generally speaking, you're still looking to wear masks to enter the building. And then once you're in our spaces, again, if you're fully vaccinated and you've chosen to show that card and you're on the I can walk around with no mask list, then you can certainly take that mask off. So I know it gets confusing in spaces where you have conflicting rules, and yet we do have to continue to follow, even though we might have our own rules in our own space, we do still have to follow the rules of the building, right? So,
Rick, I have a question. Are
okay,
protocols
Dana, just hold that for
Okay.
just a second. I'll get to
Okay.
questions in a minute.
Okay.
And now, so that's kind of what's changing and what's staying the same. For the most part, everything else that we've had in place for the past 12 to 14 months will simply stay in place until or unless it becomes unnecessary, right? Some people have asked about the shields at the front desks. We intend to keep those shields in place, mostly because the front desks are the most vulnerable to outside people coming in. It's not just us, right? It's clients, it's delivery people and whatnot. And so until or unless the folks who actually work behind those stations say, I don't want this anymore, we will leave that in place. And so that's kind of what's staying the same and what's changing. Let me go on record as saying this. Not everyone, there are 134 of us on this call, 135 if you count Kathy and Carla's too, because they only show up as one, but they can clearly see there are two people. So 135 of us, not all of us are going to agree with what I just said, right? And I understand that, and I respect it. And it is still the decision that has been made as of the 19th to move us forward. We're looking to continue to find ways to move us forward and keep people safe all at the same time, right? And we believe that these decisions, based on what the state has done and what the CDC has issued as guidance, accomplish those things. So again, this isn't the forum for a large debate over who said what and how it all works and what about this and what about that. That's not what we're going to be doing here, right? Instead, this is how we're going to move the market centers forward and closer to normal and still keep everybody safe, right? And so if you fall into the category of an unvaccinated person and think it's not fair that you have to wear a mask, again, I am sorry about that, and yet that is the decision that has been made, right? Or if you feel like it's intrusive for the market center to ask you to show that card, again, I understand and respect that. I completely respect anybody's decision on any of these things. And yet we constantly need to make decisions to keep moving us forward, right? So with that, I do want to open it up to any questions that you might have for the next just minute or two, because we are nearly out of time. Dana, you had a question.
Yeah, maybe this will come down the pike, but has there been any discussion about any changes to protocols regarding open houses?
So the protocols for open houses are the same that they've been since last June. Open houses, in-person open houses are available and encouraged, and all one needs to do is make sure that you're following the rules set by the homeowner, right? The homeowner gets to make the rules about how that works. Until someone says, please just allow anyone to come into my house unmasked, I would encourage people to continue to wear masks when they're having open houses. I would encourage one party at a time, as we've been doing, but none of those have changed. And the indoor mask rules for vaccinated persons do not really change the open house rules as of yet. That may come down the line, but as of today, I would keep all of those in place. We have not gotten any additional guidance from CTR on that. That's just from me to you. I don't see any reason to change that, especially because it continues to keep our sellers feeling safe when we keep those protocols in place, which allows them to want to have the open houses. Merrill asks, are clients allowed in the market center? Yes, again, that has not changed. Clients have been allowed in the market center since last summer. And so all of that remains exactly the same. Those clients are not going to show up, right, with their vaccination card. And so the rules for clients do not change. Clients can be in they're not wandering throughout the market center. They come into the market center and are seated in a conference room, and they stay masked while they're in the market center because we don't have any information on them, right? The unmasked rules for the vaccinated apply to you, not to everybody who comes into our spaces. Again, that's just because there's too much unknown from folks on the outside. If they do show up with a card, do they have to wear masks? Yes, simply because we have to make one determination about who's exempted and who's not, and it's not vaccinated versus fully vaccinated. It's our agents versus clients. Anybody else have a question? Stuart.
Rick, we present our vaccination card to each market center, or would one suffice?
One will suffice, because if you're on one list, that will be shared by the front desk folks at every location. So it'll end up being a Google Drive document, so that all the front desk folks have access to the same Google Drive doc. So if you show up anywhere, you will not be irritated if you choose to take your mask off and are on that list.
Good,
Right.
thanks.
So, thanks for that question. Anything else before we finish up? All righty. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're as excited as I am to just continue to keep taking steps towards normal. I look forward to seeing more and more and more of you in the market center as you choose, and watch for some additional opportunities. We've been cooking up some ideas to start having kind of hybrid versions of events where if you are vaccinated and choose to be in the market center for, like, say, our next sales rally, we will have a limited number of opportunities for that to happen in the market center while we're still doing it as a Zoom broadcast. So we're going to start to hybrid a bunch of this stuff to continue to move us in the direction of being able to actually see each other more than not. So watch for more info on that. We, as always, appreciate and respect you at the highest level. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Any questions, just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer. Have a great day today. And don't forget Via Williams tomorrow at 11. And we will still have our 9 o'clock Zoom to prep you for Via Williams tomorrow. Guys, have a great day. Love you. See ya.
Bye, Rick. Thank you. Bye, everybody.